I find like the product persona in general, like both product design, engineering, it works so well for product led growth because I think it's the type of person who just likes to get in there, play around with the product. And they also just like know how to use product. They know how to give feedback. Like they really think critically about how they use that. Whereas some other personas, like it could be a little harder. Actually, sales with Doc, like could be a little bit harder because sales folks like just want to get to the next deal and like they'll mess around a little bit, but oftentimes it's like just in the purpose of closing something. And then product people, I don't know, there's like a different mentality about them, which must be really nice for PLG.
I think that's exactly right. Like there was sort of this baked in deep empathy that our customers already had for the process we were going through. It made conversations really easy when, a product leader wanted to know where something was on the roadmap. And we'd say, or joke that, our own product team would kill us if we, gave away too much or made promises. And that always got a laugh. And then I think there was also this like concept of like appreciation for even if we weren't maybe shipping things at the speed that, anyone would like, we always want things to come faster. There was this like really close focus on creating a delightful user experience that they just couldn't help but sort of admire, or at least that's what we often heard. And I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, really interesting. And so, okay, so the end user, the product manager signing up for the product, they want to organize product feedback. They're doing some road mapping in there. Like, what did the sale sort of look like from there? Are you just grabbing a bunch of user seats to try and get all the PMs on board? Are you bringing in like design and engineering? Like, how did you sort of navigate, I guess, all the different personas in the EPD organization?
Yeah, we spent so much time on this as we sort of went back and forth and as to like how do we think about expanding at the ICP and what makes sense in terms of who we target as we multi-thread and try to sort of just capture more share. And this definitely became a big part of it. The first and foremost was just get as many folks within product using this as possible. But the design team was sort of a natural extension of that. And, to your point about EPD, there really wasn't as much value if we didn't get buy-in from the engineering team, because at the end of the day, like this thing had to connect to a system like Jira, because you can capture all the user feedback you want. But if you're not then like sending this out for it to turn into stories and epics and development to actually take place, like it loses substance very quickly. So it did become sort of a cross-functional effort in that way as it relates to the stakeholders that we tried to engage with. And we spent a lot of time in the early days thinking about like in what order and how do we think about where each person sort of sits as far as their influence in getting something like this sort of spread across the org.
Yeah. Would you try and just kind of like bear hug the entire EPD org, or was it sort of like land and expand of just start with the PM world and then naturally it would grow into design and EPD? Like, how did you sort of navigate that motion? Because I'm dealing with very similar stuff myself right now.
Yeah, I think the latter more so than ever. There were certainly circumstances and even some where we started with design, but more often than not, it was a land and expand to get really deeply integrated with the product org, because at the end of the day, so much of the usage, like the day in, day out usage, was going to come from them. That being said, if we sort of ignored or did not do our diligence in discovery and in building relationships with the D and EPD as well as the E, frankly, for that matter, like we were gonna do ourselves a disservice. And if we didn't get buy-in, like when we did see some deals start to slip or fall apart, we knew that there was probably someone, an engineering leader or a CTO, that was uncomfortable with this. And so that was a really big part of just even getting in with the product team. Like we knew we needed to get that buy-in.
Did it feel when you first started at Productboard like that you just had product market fit immediately and you were sort of like already caught lightning in a bottle and were just sort of running it with it? Or was there sort of a moment while you were there where you're like, okay, this is like really working? Like, how did you sort of think about that puzzle?
It's like looking back now, at the time, yes. Like I always think the product market fit is a tough question. I know that at the time we felt quite confident that we had it. And given the success of those early years, I think it's fair to say we'd achieved it. So yes, like there was a concept of there's so much inbound. It is quote unquote easy to convert a lot of these deals. But like I think with so many companies, we found, product market fit is an evolving organism. And when you're sort of aiming at this moving target, you have to sort of think about what that actually means for the business and what you really want product market fit to actually be as a definition.
Yeah, I
That makes
very
sense.
much agree with that because
Yeah.
I think like, yeah, everyone talks about product market fit is this like, we got it. And it's like very binary. And no, it's like you have it for a moment in time, maybe within one segment, one ICP. But then as you start to play around with your segment, try and get bigger deals, whatever, product market fit, you know, you might lose it right in that segment. You might have it in some, not others. And you got to keep just evolving, iterating both, you know, your product, your pitch, your servicing, all of that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. No, so that's what makes it fun though.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.